Hi, I'm Christa.
And I'm Anita from Heinz Brothers Greenhouse and Garden Center.
And today we're going to show you how to do an open top terrarium, how to build it, and why we would use these. So right now we have a container. We can use any glass container, whether it has a closed top or an open. We picked open top today. And it does not have any drainage in here. So you will see that we're going to add extra layers for drainage. And then we'll talk about plants and aftercare after we get through our layers. Our terrarium will help hold in the humidity and moisture, so you'll find out that we'll have to water less, which is also why we add the extra layers in, so that we have extra drainage that allows for humidity and moisture to come up throughout the day. We will start with, we usually go about a quarter of the container is filled with material, so we're going to break this out into a quarter lava rock, or any stone that you want to. It's kind of added in there for drainage. We just don't want to do sand or really small particles. We need the larger particles for drainage. We picked lava rock just so it keeps this a little bit lighter since it's a large container. And we are going to add in about a quarter of our size of this is lava rock, and then we will go to charcoal. So we will have 3 different layers in this container. The rock will be our bottom layer, and then we will add in charcoal next. When you add your charcoal in, it will poof up a little bit, but don't worry, you might just have to rinse off the inside of your container. Our charcoal is an added layer of drainage. You can get that. We have a horticultural charcoal is what we use. Instead of charcoal bricks that you would see from your grill, they have added things into it, which will not be good for our plant material. It's ground up a little bit. I like to call charcoal the deodorant of your container. It will absorb any funky smells, impurities in there, and again, it adds in that extra layer of drainage because we do not have a drain hole in the bottom of our container. So you can see we have our first layer of lava rock, and then our next layer of charcoal, and then we will add in a little bit of soil into this container. And we're just going to add a little bit because we will put our plants in next just to see. So again, we need the 3 layers of substrate to make sure that we have enough drainage into our terrarium that we don't have to worry about some soggy roots. Start with that.
A little bit more.
We'll start with that.
Okay.
And then we'll be on to our next step of plants right after that.
All right, welcome back. It may sound a little different right now because my mic is actually on this time. So thank you for bearing with me on the other one, and you'll hear me through Anita's mic. Once again, we'll recap. We did our lava rock at the bottom, which was kind of loud, our charcoal, which was our layer to take out impurities, and another layer of drainage, and our soil, and now we're on to plants. We have picked out different plant material to put into these containers. We have a small tabletop lemon button fern that we're going to add in here. You'll see we took the bottom half of the fern soil off so it kind of fits in here a little bit better. Ferns, baby tears, and begonias work really well in this container. We did have 2 ferns pulled for this section, or this session, and the lemon button seemed to fit in here a little bit better. We had the staghorn fern added into this, and it just felt like it was going to be a little too big. I think you'll find when you start to do terrariums, we're putting all of our plants really close together, almost like they're hugging. They'll be fine. They have their soil to grow into and a really nice humid area to grow. So we do keep them all about an inch away from the glass. If our plants get too close to the glass and it does get hit by direct sunlight, you could see some burning happen on the leaves, and that's fine. You just pinch them off. You'll also notice that we are pushing these a little closer together so everything can grow out a little bit more. That's why we're concentrating it all towards the middle. And we will actually, yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, good.
And then we will be trimming off a couple of leaves on here just to make sure everything stays nice and tight and not around the outside edge of the container. I'm going to do it with my fingers, although I have things there. So I just took this little leaf off, and plants that we had in here, we'll do a
little more
a
soil.
top photo in here, and we'll add in soil around the root balls of the plants, and then we're actually good. So then we'll talk about aftercare and the type of plants that we have in here next. Okay, now that we have everything planted, we are going to add in some embellishments, which can be anything from any hard good material that's a small statue, small animal statue, fairy garden item, gnome, whatever you prefer. Green moss, Spanish moss, we have lichens on sticks, and then a reindeer moss to add in. So let's see what we can come up with. All right, you can see that we've added in our additional moss and just kind of brightens up the terrarium, and we added a small mushroom in here. Now we're going to start watering. So Anita's going to water, and I'm going to talk to you about care for our terrarium. With an open-faced terrarium, you'll notice that you have to water a little bit more because the water will evaporate out. We are running the water down the insides of the terrarium, and this will happen with open-topped and closed-top terrariums. During the day, it will rain back down. When temperatures are cooler from morning to nighttime, the water that we have in here will actually start to come up the sides of the container, and as it warms up through the day, it'll rain back down. So you create your own ecosystem here that makes it not have to be watered as often. So every day for the first week, you have one of your terrariums. You'll notice you'll have to just check throughout the day. Colder time, during the morning, you'll have the water built up here and it'll rain back down. So if you wake up in the morning and there is no moisture up a little bit further, you may have to drip more water in. You'll notice as we're dripping it in, it seems a little time consuming, but we're giving it the right type of water because the water will come up on the sides. If we were to just take the watering can and water directly in, all of our water would go down through all those 3 layers of drainage that we have there. But we just want our soil to be saturated, which is why we are doing very slow, painful process of watering it this way. But you won't have to do it that much.
So you just kind of commit to it, and it's kind of soothing.
Yeah, well, therapeutic.
Yeah.
The other thing that we want to consider too is our light levels. So a bright indirect lighting would be great. You can have this go into a little bit more sunlight if needed. Just be cautious of pulling it too far away from a window because we have a lot of humidity and moisture in here. We want to make sure that we have the sun to help process some of that water through. And trimming as needed. So just think of little haircuts to your plants. Nothing in here is miniature, so it will continue to grow, and trimming and snipping is fine. We'll make sure that the plant material stays at least an inch away from the edge of the glass. And you have built an open top terrarium. Thank you, Anita.
You're welcome. Thank you.